Well, the Mad offices are very interesting. There was an episode of The Simpsons in which the Simpsons visit New York, and Bart's walking along Madison Avenue and he sees a sign, Mad Magazine, and he goes up and it's pure chaos. The doors open and there are people going around on unicycles and clowns juggling and people talking in funny voices. And while actually that's not entirely untrue, for the most part, Mad was really a magazine office. And we all took our work very seriously. We took humor very seriously. The members of the office staff are really a family because they work together every single day. And like any family, we'd have fights. We would have times when we would be just goofing off. But we all definitely had a single goal in mind, which is to get that next issue out.
He sees Mad from a 360-degree perspective. I don't. He was an illustrator for many years, and then he became art director for, what, 20? 19 years at Mad, having dealt with not only the new artists coming in, but also all the legacy guys.
Many of them, yeah.
Many of them. The usual original gang of idiots.
Right.
But it always started with the writer. All through Mad, anything you see, I know it's an art show in the Rockwell Museum, but everything everyone is going to look at started first with a writer and an idea.
The writers would come up with 3 or 4 premises, set up a meeting with the editorial staff, and then you would pitch the ideas and they would say, we don't like that, we don't like this. We sort of like this, but we need more examples. The thing is, we don't work hand in hand with the artist. It's kind of interesting. The movie satire is where you have the most input. Is you write a movie satire like a movie script. You have all the word balloons, and then underneath them you have, in this scene, we see so-and-so happening, and the window is so-and-so.
We would get to work editing it, doing the layout, or giving it to Sam to do the layout, setting type, and doing mechanicals, and only then we'd say, okay, which artist would work best for this? Because we always try to play to artist strengths.
Who is the best person for this particular assignment? And I don't know that I ever made those decisions unilaterally. I always worked very closely with my editor, John Ficarra. Now sometimes it's a no-brainer because if you're doing a movie, it's going to be Mort Drucker or it's going to be Tom Richmond. When it's something other than that, it's what style works best, what point of view works best.
The great thing about the Mad artists is they add a ton of stuff of their own. Just great little background gags. I think it's called chicken fat, when they just add tons of stuff.
Well, I can tell you that working for Mad, toward the end of, they started to accept gag cartoons, single panel gag cartoons. But really what I was submitting were ideas, article ideas, and then I'd have to come up with, say, you know, you want to send them at least 7 or 8 or 10 ideas. You send it in, and then eventually you hear whether they like it or not. If they like it, they'll pick a few. So there was a lot of writing involved. The whole editorial process took much longer than once it was accepted and went to the art department, then eventually you got a layout and you had to do the artwork. So very, very different from gag cartooning. Lots more input, lots more editing, which was good. It seemed like so much, like to have to draw 9 panels in 3 weeks or something, but I always had enough time.
Sometimes it would start out with I'd do a drawing on a napkin. Then I would do a rougher pencil. Then I would do a tighter pencil to if that wasn't clear enough, to send to the editors to make sure there wasn't any confusing areas. I would then do a tighter small pencil, then take that to a copy shop, which would be, that would still be smaller. I would blow that up to a bigger size and then pencil yet, sometimes a third time, onto, I had this great Mad Magazine paper that was from, you know, the 70s that had Alfred E. Newman on it and all. Inking, you know, if I had to ink a swath of the Black Spy's coat, I could go you know, with an X-Acto blade on my self-healing board, which made it easier to do it. Also, it was just copy paper, because if I used anything heavier and I had to go over the line more than once, it was, you know, double the work. I was hand delivering physical art that was not digital whatsoever, and they used to put that on a drum, like it was a round scanner, because that's how scanning used to work. I mean, all this old school stuff. Mad was still doing that.
It got much more exciting as technology progressed.
You could now build a magazine page with really straight lines. You didn't have to use a straight edge and a rapidograph. The technological advances that we saw as making our jobs all easier were also obviating our jobs. They were making us dinosaurs.
I think at a certain point, all publications had to go digital and use illustrative photography, because that's just what happened to publishing in general. In the 90s, we all started using computers. That actually allowed for a lot of artists to really play around with the format and taking photographs and turning them into parody. So I think overall, the publication probably gained from that.
I love it. I love the feeling of drawing on glass. Yeah, I do feel a little lazy about it, because it's certainly, you know, the line will straighten itself. But I don't feel, I say my confession about it once a month, and then I'm good to go.
So as we're pushing our deadlines, okay, if I give it to an artist, it's going to take them 2 days to draw this, or 3 days to draw this. If I give it to a digital artist, we can have it overnight. We could make changes literally up until the second the tech at Quad Graphics pressed the button that said print.
The wonderful thing about Mad from the beginning is the wide variety of styles, and also, you know, since style is not really superficial, it's also how the artist sees the world, the personality of the artist. There is a wide variety of personalities in the artwork, and that was my favorite part of the job, getting to work with all these people, interact with them.